Hey, how you doing? You are listening to Fort Fritz, a paranormal podcast about spooky things, and I'll let you know right now, we're going to try to scare you. Some of these stories might be a little too uncomfortable. Maybe they involve serial killers, and I hope, because you might have looked at the info and the description for this episode, but yes, we will be talking about serial killers, and that is real.
Yeah.
So without further ado, you're listening to Fort Fritz. We're going to scare you. All right? We're going to scare you. Greetings, I am Fritz, joined as always by Nick Spry.
Howdy.
Angela.
Hello.
And Kaz.
Did I get promoted to co-host?
You are sitting in the big chair right now.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Man Daddy has a gig in Tampa, and he will not be joining us on this podcast.
His condolences.
I think he's opening for a band like Amsterdam Nation or something like that.
It's probably something really good. Yep.
Amsterdam Yankees.
Yeah, something like
So right now we are standing on, I guess, an area hitherto unknown for me. It's a boat dock or some kind of ramp going into the back lake, some kind of creek. It looks just like an overgrown area of water and swamp.
It just goes on, and like the expanse goes right into the horizon. There's a lot of water here. This is more like a back 140 instead of a back 40.
Add 100 to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really ridiculous. But at the same time, we made sure that we got over early in the day. There's a nice overcast, but it's a gray sky. We can see everything perfectly. Hopefully, we don't have to stay a night in this fort, because I'm not going to. I'll tell you right now.
What do you think the gator situation is back here?
Oh, it's bad.
Is it really?
Oh, really?
I mean, like, no issue with gators. Like, they live here, but like,
gators live
it's
here.
infested. It's bad.
It's infested with gators, you're saying?
Yes. Yeah. Terrible.
Okay.
So an infestation is usually bad.
So no water skiing. No water skiing. Yeah. It's
I mean,
more
there's
than a
like
couple.
there's like no natural predators for them. You know, like they're the top.
Of the food
There's
chain.
not really
Yeah.
like an Orkin man for alligators.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess there isn't.
No, just hunters. So this is kind of like where I spend like all my summers out here.
Oh, like summer
Sun.
vacation?
Yeah, summer vacation.
You spent your summers behind the house?
Well, yeah, boats here.
There's
water,
140
sun.
something acres
Yeah, I mean,
back
there's a lot.
here.
Yeah, there's a lot. It's more like a natural sort of preserve, I guess.
Good to get out of the
That's
house.
amazing. Yeah, right. Yeah,
A
that's
little
amazing.
bit more of a breeze around here.
It's a real
yeah.
staycation.
Yeah.
Was there any?
Pretty good.
What's the watercraft situation? We got boats. We got jet skis.
Yeah, boats, jet skis, kayaks, canoes.
Everything.
You got
Yeah.
those like the hovercraft, like you know, I'm talking about the jetpack.
The thing Jackie
water
Chan
tanks.
used in
Oh,
Golden
yeah.
Bronze.
You know what? You're like a lure with all the gators around here with that. That's just a
That
bad
makes
idea.
sense. Yeah, they probably tear into you with that thing.
Yep.
So, yeah, the gators do not like modern technology, is what you're telling me.
Oh, absolutely not.
Well, they're
they don't
an
like
ancient
any
animal.
kind of boat sound.
That is true. Yeah, they got peanut brains. I think I see a gator over there, actually. Look at him. He's kind of cute.
Call that a bottlenose, or
It's
actually
a bottlenose gator.
Yeah, we call that the six-pack nose dial right there.
Six-pack nose dial.
That's so informal. That's
Yeah,
so
yeah.
sterile. I wouldn't want that as a nickname.
Sounds
if
like
I
a
was a
bro.
gator.
Yeah, he sounds like a bro reptile, right? Like 6-pack, beer bro gator.
But you know exactly what you're going to get out of him. He's like, I only got a six-pack.
right?
You know? If anyone
And it
else
is
says
the
that-
full 6-pack. He didn't 5-pack you. You know what I mean? Like some people like to do.
Upon closer inspection, I don't think that's. I think that's actually a real bottle.
Is it really?
Yeah.
All right. Well, hang on.
Angela, can you fish it out? You know these waters better than any of us.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I got this. Yeah, that's definitely a bottle.
Plus,
it's just
if
a
there's
bottle.
If there's a bunch of gators in there, I'm not putting my hand down there.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, they're fine.
Angela, be careful.
I got
snapping.
it. Feel
They're
the fear.
snapping.
Chill
Oh,
out.
Be careful.
Look at it.
You're making them nervous. All right, I got it.
Oh, God, get over here. Jesus Christ.
It was like the Peter Pan one.
I am so impressed right now.
Amazing.
Just fished it out of there.
You're a boss. You're a regular Steve Urkel.
What else do you know how to do that we
Rest
don't
in
know
peace.
how to do? Like breathe fire or something?
Oh, I absolutely know how to breathe fire. Yeah,
of
I got
course.
bored.
Yeah, we all know how to breathe fire, Angela.
No, you
Hey.
totally do. You have to use like specific fuel.
So what's in this bottle?
Yeah, it looks like there's like a note in there.
Yeah, that's definitely paper.
Oh my God.
What?
Okay, she's reading it. Okay.
It's a memo from Felix.
Whoa, from Felix. He left
Are
it
you
in LA?
kidding me?
That's a weird.
I'm not even kidding you. Like, can't
What-
believe this is here.
Did he think the memo was going to make it out to sea or something? It's just like behind his house in a bottle?
Maybe it was before the internet. You know, it was
I
like
can
his
see that.
version of. You know, he was inspired by Sting and left
Listened
a little.
to a lot of police.
Yeah.
I think it's for Fritz.
What?
You're kidding me. You don't say.
Look
All
at
right,
that.
let me see
Well,
this
crack
damn
it up,
thing.
read that thing, man. Let's check it out.
Well, if I must.
Felix's log. Journal Felix, March 25th, 1994. Grace Under Fire was amazing again last night. That show will age well. The unfortunate demise of Mr. Peppershire is likely going to arouse some queries. History may paint Dr. O and I as villains, but I am confident that once our experimentation is complete, the world will understand our sacrifice. Fret not, Journal. Mr. Peppershire was fully aware of the dangers of this line of work, and the good doctor did everything in his power to save what was left of him. His family will be handsomely compensated for their silence, and his remains will be hidden in this boathouse in case of any unwanted snooping. It pains me to resort to such measures, but any inquest into the nature of his death will surely be the unraveling of all we've worked for. The being calls itself Yestrepum. The voice, if you can call it that, was a monstrous thing. It washed into us like fat, buzzing insects, blocking out all other sensation. Only the bone-rumbling feeling of that one phrase. You call Yestrepum? I added the question mark because it seemed like an ask. Are you calling Yestrepum? Where? Did we know? Neither have said a word, and the indigo light that filled the lab subsided back into its tiny package. The doctor returned a few hours later from the library, left coattail severely scorched, might I add, with several volumes of research material, only to find no reference to Yestrepum anywhere. We gave brief consideration to the idea that we'd misheard or perhaps even hallucinated the whole thing. After all the past 6 years of study and search, it turned up only one tangible reward. That ugly damn thimble, or tiny elf cup, something cup or thimble-shaped. Either way, the thing has become the bane of my existence. From the initial vibrations we recorded after putting it in its case, to the recent flashes of blue lights, to last night's voice. I'd like to think that I didn't order Peppershire to try on the thimble, merely suggested it as the leader on our expedition into this ancient unknown. Either way, Dr. O has taken to sullen silences and short answers. I fear that I'm losing his confidence. Nevertheless, we must persist. Our work here threatens to unravel the very fabric of our understanding of the universe. To be mentioned even as a footnote on the story of that discovery will be payment enough for our endeavors. To any who may discover this after my sure-to-be untimely death, yours till Niagara Falls, Felix Fritz, Esquire.
Wow.
That's
Wow.
heavy stuff.
I don't know, but that's it's something got to do with the house. But anybody else hear that disembodied voice? Your Uncle Felix has had quite the patter.
I haven't heard any kind of disembodied voice. Angela, what do you know? Is this a spook that's haunting the house? Is this something that's troubling these waters? What do you know about this?
I think it's a spook.
I've been drinking a lot of gravy water. I'm just
Yeah,
gonna say.
well.
I'm gonna full disclosure. I've been also drinking the gravy. I had one gravy water and then it kind of felt good, and then I had another.
Without Mandetta here, I just felt like there was no danger because he always finds all the really, really heinous stuff. So
Yeah,
I
that's
just felt
true.
I could sit back and have a drink, little crunch. on a flavor
Angela
crystal.
actually was the first one
Yeah.
tonight. She goes, "Hey, you want to get gravied?" And I was like, "I certainly do."
Gravy
So
me
we're all-
down, baby
all right.
boy.
Every
we got
day.
it.
Every day the gravy.
All day, every day, gravy.
What do you guys think that
I
Felix
don't know.
meant by all that?
He was being pretty straightforward about it. I think one of his assistants or whatever died, and
Yeah, but
he
for some
buried
nefarious
him here.
experiment that's going to rip the fabric of the universe. I don't know. Like, guys, that's kind of freaking me out.
It is
Oh my
pretty
God,
intense.
Angela, was the human jawbone, was it dug up from this area?
Have you guys heard of the ghost ship Lady Lovibond?
No, not at all. Not
Sounds
up until
sexy.
just right now.
Yeah.
All right, yield salts and scallywags.
Ooh.
It's time to shiver your timbers for a story of romance, jealousy, and revenge. The schooner Lady Lovibond, or sometimes known as Lovibond, was set to sail the day before St. Valentine's Day in 1748 along the River Thames and circumnavigate the Kent coast before making its way to sunny Portugal, or Portugal.
Portugal.
Yeah.
A Portugal.
That's what they called it in 1748.
A Portugal.
Sure.
Yeah.
Its captain, Simon Reed, in some accounts named Simon Peel, just so you know,
Huh.
who had just been married. He was celebrating his marriage to the beautiful Annetta with this little cruise, despite the old sailor superstition that it was bad luck to bring a woman on board a vessel.
Oh yeah, and that goes back to like the pirate creed,
I thought it was
right?
pregnant women.
No.
No, it's
Any
that.
and all women.
Yeah, it's that, and also some kind of like pets.
Well, it makes sense. You name the boat. The boat is a lady, and she's a jealous lady.
Right.
She doesn't want any other. She doesn't want any other attention out there on the sea.
So you're saying that if you bring another woman onto,
You take your fate into your own hands.
Okay.
Let's just say it wasn't a good time for like female marine biologists.
Yes.
No,
They weren't getting a whole lot of access.
No,
to
like,
learning.
I'm just trying to check out humpback whales.
I just want to study marine science and I
no
can't.
strides were being made
No,
in that front.
right.
Yeah.
So, the entire crew was celebrating except for first mate and best man at the wedding, John Rivers.
Joan Rivers?
Close.
Sounds
John Rivers.
She could have lived that long and looked the same.
I got it.
Yeah, she's an angel.
Who was seething with jealous anger. He had fallen in love with a lovely Annetta and was pacing the decks with rage. While most everyone, including the captain and his wife, were partying below deck, John Rivers could take it no more.
Oh God.
With a blunt object, he whacked a crew member right out from behind the wheel and took control of the ship. And before anyone realized what had happened, he steered the ship towards the Goodwin Sands, and the crash killed everyone on board instantly.
What?
Why did he do this again?
He was jealous because the captain married
Oh, the
the woman
captain
he was
married
in love
Annetta.
with. Yep,
my
Annetta.
was Annetta like? Did she requite his love? Like, is this
No reports said anything about
So
any
this is
kind
just
of attachment.
like a crazy friend zone dude who like went insane and crashed a whole boat full of
Not
people?
friend zone. She was in love with somebody else.
Right, and he
Not
like
friend zone.
I also
We don't
think
know
of
their
that-
history, really.
Like, that's
I
going to be a
mean-
really like rocking party too, because when you think of the turning radius of a boat, and he's like just going to
No
like
one
he's
knows,
like,
right.
like the equivalent of speeding down the highway and being like, oh screw it, and just flipping the wheel, like that takes like 10-15
It
minutes.
depends on how much
To,
drinks you've had. You know,
Yeah.
it all feels the same.
Well, and you said he crashed it into the sands.
So it's some kind of sandbar.
Okay,
Yes.
and that would be enough to like I don't know enough about
He's
like
running
ship
boat
crashes.
ashore, man. That thing,
Yep.
the hole is
Everyone
going
will
to
die.
crack, and like
So the entire crew was killed instantly in that crash.
Instantly.
However, on February 13th in 1798, 50 years later, two separate ships reported sightings of this phantom vessel, the Lady Lovibond.
Really? 50 years later?
Lovibond, whatever it's called.
So 50 years later, two separate ships
Two
reported
separate
this?
ships. Specifically, the Eden Bridge's skipper made a log entry that he had almost collided with the schooner sailing straight for the Goodwin Sands.
Whoa.
And since then, every 50 years it has been known to return. And reports say they hear the happy voices of the guests' festivities as the vessel heads straight for the Goodwins.
Oh
What?
my God, that's
that is
so
super
frightening.
creepy. No, every 50 years.
Every
Wow.
50 years. In 1848, a sighting convinced local sailors to send out lifeboats to no avail,
Wow.
as it has disappeared before they could even reach it.
That's definitely a thing. Like, you're not going to convince sailors to like disembark lifeboats to go just kind of, hey, maybe I saw something. Like, they definitely saw something.
And then in 1948, Captain Bull Prestwick reported that he saw the vessel, that she looked real but had an eerie green glow about her. And local fishermen in the area say that the ghost ship was last seen in 1998, like as soon as 1998,
Wow.
which means that the next sighting will be in 2048.
Huh. That's amazing.
Well, let's try and stick around.
So
till
just so you know, it should be noted that the Goodwin Sands are England's most well-known grounds for ghost ships.
Oh, wow.
It has a reputation of ranking close to like 2,000 vessels.
Yeah, it must just be fucking up every ship that gets near it.
Yep.
Why do people even boat there anymore?
Well, maybe
He's going, this time we're okay. This
well, maybe
ship
like
is
high
good
tide,
enough.
low tide, things
Right,
like
they
that.
got Google boat maps. Like, you know, like avoid that area altogether.
Google boat maps.
My Uber boat.
Try-
Uber boat was not doing so hot.
Right,
Like,
seriously.
I've been waiting on
Try
the
not to
sandbar.
run into that sandbar. on
Google
the
boat
right.
maps.
Yeah, it's triple rates right now.
That's amazing. Okay, so we should basically heed this bay as a cursed waterway.
It's probably not good.
Maybe that's why Felix threw it in. He was trying to maybe cleanse the bay, or maybe absolve him of any guilt.
I could see that.
in this experimentation.
I could see that.
Is Schmutzy around? Can we kind of like have Schmutzy dig?
Oh my God. There she is. hell?
Oh, Schmutzy.
Hey.
Still wearing the leather coat and the jacket.
Totally followed us out here. What a cool cat.
Schmutzy. Okay. Schmutzy. Sorry I said something.
Whoa!
This cat freaking hates you, man.
Angel, please have the cat dig, please.
All right.
I'm looking for it. Just let it know. Go where you find the jawbone. Go where that was.
Right there.
Why would you want to dig that up?
I want to see if there's any more clues.
Clues?
We gotta
Back
find
me up, Kaz.
We gotta
Back me
find the
up.
rest of Peppershire.
No.
Man.
What
Like,
if some ghost ship shows up? That's not a great idea, guys.
ghost ships and rotted remains are two different things. Like, I'm afraid of ghost ships. I'm with you on that. Let's avoid that. But a bone or two, it's a chance I'm willing to take.
Yeah, same here. Let's find this damn Peppershire.
Come on, man.
What if there's more clues? What if there's another memo on him? What if there's some type
Oh, you're right.
of, indication as to how he died or something? We can, maybe unravel this a little bit more.
You're going to Encyclopedia Brown this whole thing.
Let's
Exactly.
encyclopedia
All right,
around
I'm
the
sold.
whole thing. Angela, please just have Schmutzy focused and determined. Let's take a little break. You're listening to Fort Fritz. Welcome back to Fort Fritz. We are going to get right into it. Schmutzy is digging up a storm right now, people.
Schmutzy.
It's actually getting all over me.
Yeah, well, you can move.
You had to get a little sand in your cuffs there.
It's refreshing.
Also, hitting me right in the face with the sand.
It's like a little
You
sand
guys
bath.
can really move.
She
like
seems to be
this
this,
one
it's
angle.
like a campfire smoke. She's like, wherever I move, she's kicking the dirt.
I want to see
well.
everything she digs up. And right now,
Whoa, she's got something. She's got something.
Oh my
she's
God.
pulling out. She's
Look
got
at
it in her
that.
mouth. What?
Whoa!
You know, ironic enough, I couldn't see it. Too much dirt in the face.
Oh my God.
What is it? Remember it to me, Nick Spry.
So it looks. Hold on. Let me. There's a lot of dirt on there. Let me just.
That smell.
It smells bad from
Oh
here.
my God.
Looks like a clump of dirt.
Oh,
So it's a little clown nose.
Oh, that's funny to me. He's honking at like a clown nose does.
Oh, gross.
That's kind of off-putting.
Is there anything in there? Can you check to see if there's not a nose?
is like a centipede in there. Oh my gosh!
Jesus.
That's pretty scary.
That's spooky. That's
Centipedes
spooky.
are really, really
Yeah,
scary.
they eat like dead things.
Disgusting.
Yeah, and they got feet.
Yeah, they got a lot of them.
They got a lot of feet.
All right. Should I pick?
I think I know exactly where that came from. We got a lot of deliveries,
Okay.
and they were all like dressed like clowns.
Okay, so this is like way before drone delivery, you're saying?
Yeah.
There was
Okay.
a clown delivery.
Clown
sir.
delivery.
Clown delivery.
God, when was this?
Before the cloud, there was the clown.
Guys, no, guys, I don't like this. I don't like this one bit. No, this.
We're all
this,
having fun. It's clown. Clowns
It
make
actually
people laugh.
seems more
No. A
enjoyable.
bunch of freaky, weird stranger clowns showing up at your door and just handing you things. That's
I
totally
don't know. They're
dangerous.
singing
No.
telegrams. What's the difference?
That's. Have you ever heard about the murder of Marlene Warren?
No, Marlene Warren.
Who's that?
Did this take place somewhere around here?
Yeah, actually, this happened in Florida.
You
What?
don't say.
Yeah, let me school you. On Saturday, May 26th, in the year 1990, it was Memorial Day weekend in Wellington, Florida, which is considered a quote-unquote village of West Palm Beach County. It's about 3.5 hours
bougie.
southeast.
Very bougie.
Yeah, southeast
it?
of
Bougie?
Orlando, on the Atlantic coast of Florida.
East Coast.
Yeah, there was a neighborhood there called, a very affluent neighborhood called the Aero Club, and it was named that thusly because they had a landing strip directly that split the community in half.
That's pretty affluent.
Yes, the properties there were known to be over an acre large, and a lot of people had private planes in private hangars on their properties. So this is definitely a very rich neighborhood. It was 10:45 in the morning that day. So Michael and Marlene Warren, they lived in this neighborhood of Aero Club. They were the successful owners of several businesses and properties, including a car dealership and a car rental agency. Their net worth at the time in 1990 was well over $1 million.
Whoa.
Damn.
Yeah, that's a lot of money.
So for inflation from 1990, what would that be?
That'd be like 20 bitcoins, I guess. I don't
20
know, with
bitcoins.
the current rate on the market.
So bitcoins are worth at least
it's
a couple
billions.
$1 million.
Billions.
Every time that Mario would hit a block, that's like a bitcoin.
That's one
I think
bitcoin.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's the correct conversion.
Yep.
So Marlene, who was then 40 years old at the time, she answered a call at the front door. opening it to find a delivery of flowers and balloons. The delivery person was dressed in full clown regalia.
Oh my God.
Yeah, they had the whole Bozo the Clown costume, including the white face paint, a red nose, gloves, and they topped off the whole thing with a curly, bright orange wig. That morning, because of the holiday weekend, there was a group of family and friends over at the Warrens' house. Her son from another marriage, Joey Ahearns, he was 21 years old at the time. He recalls hearing his mother say, "Oh, how pretty," quote. She was accepting the flowers and balloons, and which one of them read, there was 2 balloons, "You're the greatest." Then Joey Ahearns, he heard the shot before he realized what had happened. The clown had silently raised its arm after handing over the packages and pulled out a .38 caliber revolver and fired a single shot directly into the mouth of Marlene Warren.
Oh my God.
Whoa.
The guests rushed to the foyer and to find Marlene collapsed in a pool of blood. Her son, Joey, he ran outside of the door and saw the clown heading towards a white Chrysler LeBaron. It stopped and turned to face him, and he noticed that the clown had brown eyes, and then it turned back around, rushed off to the car, got in, and sped away. Now, suspicion might immediately fall on Michael Warren, as he would stand to gain the most from Marlene's death.
And he was the husband?
He was the husband at the time. He was not there that morning. Their valuable business and properties were both in Marlene's name, but he would be the sole benefactor if she were to pass. So the couple had been also having marital problems for some time, and she had told her mother, stepfather, and son that she wanted to end the marriage and leave him. She was positive that Michael had been having an affair for some time. She also confessed to her mother that she was beginning to fear her husband. Relayed from Shirley Twing, her mother, quote, "If anything happens to me, Mike done it."
That's so sad.
Oh, man.
Well, especially when that much money is involved, you never know what people would do.
Yeah, for sure. But like that shit, like she was in this abusive relationship and she had this impending notice of her death, probably. She's kind of like trying to warn people, but at the same time, she can't do anything about it.
But Michael Warren, he had a valid alibi for that morning. While the clown was on their doorstep, he was actually en route to Calder Racetrack with some friends. He was in traffic on I-95.
So he's got multiple people.
That's a very common excuse for South Florida. Mm-hmm. I was in traffic on 95.
Yeah,
couldn't
right?
have killed her.
Yeah.
Couldn't have killed her. I was in traffic.
But the police, they still suspected his involvement somehow with the killing. So the police's other main suspect in the case was Sheila Keene. Keene and her husband, Richard, they ran a car repo business at the time, and they had been on the Warrens' payroll for quite some time. But when she was questioned by the police, Sheila said that she was in Boynton Beach, Riviera Beach, and Lake Worth. She was searching for cars on the repossessed list there. Sheila Keene was also the alleged other woman in regards to the Warrens' marriage. Employees and friends, business associates of the Warrens noted that Sheila and Michael had become extremely close over the past 5 months, and that they would often go to long lunches together. But about 2 weeks before the murder, they had been fighting or quarreling, and they were not as close as they had been. They hadn't been seen as much together.
There was some, there's some drama there.
There was some drama going on.
This seems like a very normal Palm Beach relationship.
If you have a property and like assets worth $1 million, and then there's this mistress, and at the same time, this woman is saying, I have a feeling I'm going to be killed. And if it happened, it's my husband, then the husband happens to have this alibi. Right. There's something very suspicious going on.
Something don't smell right.
Nope.
No. So Sheila's neighbors of her apartment, she had actually separated from her husband in January of that year and had moved into a apartment out in the suburbs of West Palm Beach off of Military Trail. The neighbors of hers, they had noted that they had seen Michael Warren so much over at the apartment that they had assumed that they were husband and wife and that he lived there. And when asked by the police, Richard Keene, he said that he knew his wife was having an affair, and also that she had questioned him the previous month, April, about a missing .38 caliber pistol of theirs, which had been of some obscure make. It definitely wasn't a Smith & Wesson, as the ballistics reports from the police files had indicated.
Leave it to like some rich fancy people to shoot someone with like a one-of-a-kind unique gun that can like easily be traced back.
Well, Sheila and Richard were not exactly from an affluent background. She was 27 in 1990, and she had a reputation for loving money and living sort of a free lifestyle. Her husband, Richard, he had been he was a former KKK leader.
Jeez.
Yes.
So this is the cream of the crop of the South Florida elite.
Wow.
These were the two that had owned the repossession business, and he was actually imprisoned for a while for marijuana trafficking charges in Georgia. They had a son together. This was 1987. So
This is like
Stand-up guy.
you know, that's but
the
like
golden
I said, they had
children of
separated.
Florida.
Right, exactly.
there. Yeah.
So the
Our
evening
best.
of Marlene Warren's murder, police received a phone call from employees of the Dixie Highway costume shop. And they were reporting that they had sold a clown costume to a brown-haired woman 2 days earlier. Two separate store clerks hesitantly identified Keene as that woman, despite her denials on purchasing that or any other clown costume ever.
So this mistress was the suspect who bought a clown costume who also had brunette hair 2 days before this murder.
Yes, that's exactly right. So this comes into the investigation later on when there was a report from workers at a Pahokee auto parts store. They had attested that Keene once shown up there in a clown costume and was entertaining children there. This was several years before the murder, but it sort of set a precedent for behavior and possible MO. And this all happened very shortly after the murder when they uncovered these facts. And this led to a judge issuing a warrant to collect DNA samples and a search warrant for her apartment. They were searching for hair fibers just so they could match this. And this will come into later on some of the evidence that they found. Because in addition, that, like I said, the police were able to determine that the flower arrangement and the balloons that were delivered to the Warrens' house that morning, they came from a Publix supermarket.
Oh, really?
And, yes, very exclusive to the Southeast. And,
Hometown pride. Yeah, Publix. Pub subs.
Pub subs.
Am I right?
Oh, all day. Pub subs.
What's your favorite pub sub? Just quickly.
Ooh.
I get the veggie. It's $5.
Me too.
Yeah.
Chicken nuggets are Italian.
Oh, chicken nuggets. Oh my God, that sounds
Capicola.
amazing.
Fried
You know,
chicken.
chicken tender, yeah.
Chicken tender.
You're going to be a fat
Italian.
bastard about it.
Angela, Italian,
Veggie all day.
veggie for me and you both. Okay.
That-
Continue.
But, and then even more specifically, they realized that only one Publix in Palm County sold these particular balloons that were made of this type of mylar. And they were found where? Off of Military Trail,
Wow.
less than a mile away across the street from Sheila Keene's apartment.
That's very specific.
That's very specific. Even the clerk from the supermarket remembered a long brown-haired woman purchasing these items, and later confirmed that it was Keene the morning of the incident, about, quote, a half an hour to 45 minutes before the murder occurred. And that is a quote from Sergeant Bill Williams, who was the lead detective on the initial case in 1990. So the white Chrysler LeBaron that was in question was found 4 days later. It was recovered, abandoned in the parking lot of a grocery store in Palm Beach Gardens. Multiple brown hairs and orange fibers were found in the trunk of the car, as well as a Publix grocery bag. And back in 1990, it was one of those old, the brown paper bags.
Oh, yeah.
They didn't really give you much of that
yeah.
plastic option. And coincidentally, the vehicle had been linked to the Warrens' business as a stolen vehicle.
Oh, so this is
Just,
like...
Open
a
and
quinky-dink.
shut.
A quinky-dink.
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
open. This is like red-handed on every fucking possible motive.
But search warrants, they yielded nothing. And the rudimentary DNA testing by the FBI of hair and fiber samples at the time was deemed inconclusive, and so no charges were ever brought against Sheila Keene or Michael Warren, at least in regards to the murder.
What?
It's just, you have to think, like the first time that DNA became a real big issue was during the O.J. Simpson murder.
Right?
Yeah, that was 95, was it?
It was, I think 94, 95, so this predates that by 4 or 5 years. People just didn't put any...
So they couldn't. There were hairs on her brush at her house, and then hairs in the car, and they
But
couldn't
the
tell if
testing,
it
it just, they were like, we don't know.
Oh,
So
man.
it was basically DNA testing
hairs
then was a
float
guy
around,
holding
you
two
know?
hairs, looking at them go, they're both brown.
they look good. They look brown, same length.
Silky.
Well, I think for hair DNA, you have to actually get the root. If you don't have
Okay.
the root, there's
Oh, no
no
shit.
DNA.
Really?
Or it's like broken DNA. So
okay.
if it was a hairbrush, you might not always get
I
that root.
see.
Well, they had even found orange fibers from a wig in her apartment.
Okay, then that's it. Come on, that's it.
Wait.
Wigs.
But, like I had said previously, she had shown up several years earlier in an auto parts store and had some...
But she also said that she never bought
they
a car.
couldn't match anything exactly. I know everything is. It just it made me very, very upset reading.
Yes,
all
I am
of
very upset
these
hearing about it.
newspaper articles about this. Michael Warren, 5 months after Marlene's death, the police arrested him. The scrutiny that his business had been put under during the murder investigation, it unearthed enough evidence to charge him with 66 felony counts.
How?
Of fraud.
All
Yes,
right.
of fraud, including racketeering, grand theft, petty theft, and odometer fraud through the scheme that he was.
Odometer
That is a
fraud.
real
That's a very
subsection.
specific
fraud.
It's like he was
Wow.
the father from Matilda, that Roald Dahl book.
Oh, yeah, Danny DeVito's character.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Like he's just
yeah.
putting sawdust and hamsters and putting those in gas tanks. He would reset odometers so that he could
Recharge
set a
that-
higher
right, yeah,
resale and for things like that. But so
What's the thing I'm thinking of? Trip.
Well, they also did Ferris
Tachometer.
Bueller's Day Off, remember?
oh yeah,
Yeah.
drive it backwards. So he was brought up on all of these charges, and then in August of 1992, a jury found him guilty of 43 counts of fraud and racketeering, and he was up against a possible maximum sentence of 237 years in prison. But a judge found that prosecutors were probably being biased in the fact that they couldn't put together a proper trial for this murder charge,
He also
and so
had
they were
less
being
frauds than the first time.
Well-
Yeah,
you know?
but why is he being charged for the murder?
He wasn't. No one was ever charged, but they felt like that.
So no
prosecutors,
one was ever charged
no
for this
one was
murder?
ever charged for this murder.
You
It's
have
still
got to be
unsolved
kidding
to this
me.
day.
You've got to be kidding me.
I'm not kidding.
Wow.
As I was saying, a judge severely felt that Warren was being treated unfairly, and so
Oh,
he's
no.
just sentenced him to 20 years of probation. And this was, of
What?
course, appealed,
You-
and a 9-year prison sentence was mandated in 1994. Warren served 3 of those years and was released in 1997.
Jeez.
Sheila Keene eventually divorced her estranged husband Richard in 2000, and then 2 years later, she and Michael Warren were married in Nevada.
Okie dokie. That's crazy.
But I'm just saying, never know what a clown is going to bring to your front door.
Okay, so Peppershire, Angela, was Peppershire this kind of crazy clown, like door-to-door salesman? I mean, from the memo, it seems like he was a well-respected doctor.
Peppershire?
Yeah, or was he just
At least
a
part of
lunatic?
he was part of the team in some capacity.
Was he a real doctor, or was this just like a nickname, like Dr. Pepper? Peppershire? Is he
Was
just...
he just tasty?
You know, we just kind of call him the clown. He didn't really know what he was getting involved with.
What is it with all these clowns?
Okay,
I
so-
just warned you about all these... the clown!
He was a guinea pig, is what you
Well,
said.
Yeah.
Okay.
The unfortunate demise
Wow.
of Peppershire. That's rough, man. We hardly knew you.
Let's take a little break because now we have to process this death in a haunted bay and this cryptic memo from Felix Fritz.
Do we have to call the cops or declare that we found a body here? How does that
It's
work?
not a body, it's a clown nose. It's, albeit a
Well-
very creepy clown
Well, it's
nose.
where we found the jawbone earlier.
Smells like death.
It's a gray area, right?
Yeah, but at the same time, we are already publicly broadcasting this podcast. Let's not call the authorities right now. Okay, let's take a little break because one person who is calling in is Man Daddy. After this break, you will hear from Man Daddy. He will be calling in live from his gig in Tampa, so don't go anywhere. You're listening to Fort Fritz.
I miss his abuse.
Welcome back to segment 3 of Fort Fritz. We have a special phone in right now with Man Daddy, who is playing a gig in Tampa. Man Daddy, what's going on?
Hey guys, this is Man Daddy. Sorry I couldn't be there this week. Talking about how to do a show. We're in Tampa, of course, opening for some bands. You know, it's kind of something we do every quarter. Like a ton of bands, and then we play a set, and then another band plays a set, and then we play a set, another band plays a set. Yeah, I don't know. It's really a bad idea, but that's kind of what Talking About was based on. I just want to let you know that I have a little bit of an update on the aliens. They showed up the other night, and it was really weird. It was almost like I was in the council being judged, surrounded by like 5 or 6 of them, and it was very silent, except the only thing I could hear was... Wow, this band takes really weird breaks. It's very jazzy. But so it was very strange. It was just me still in the sleep paralysis, but feeling like I'm just surrounded by these alien dark creatures and being judged by them. And one of the really creepiest things is that one of them was wearing a hat. Wow, this band takes really weird breaks. So there are new things going on with the aliens. And one thing that really, really made it weird was...
That's a bad connection.
Turn point.
Tampa. All I got is Tampa.
I heard a lot of Tampa.
He's saying the word Tampa.
Is that distortion? Is he? He's on stage right now, isn't he?
Maybe. It sounds like in the background.
Something. There's definitely music.
All right. Well, Man Daddy obviously is having fun. He's live right now in Tampa, opening up for some band probably that he's opened up for before.
I think it was
That's all I got too.
Yeah, it was. Sounds cool, like cool prog rock, maybe like noise, like a noise band.
We have been uncovering all of these bones now in the back 40 of the Fort Fritz area. This is an area of bay that is supposedly cursed, and we found a memo from Felix himself, pretty much describing where he's placed the bodies of different assistants that have come before him. And right now, I would be remiss if I didn't mention that Kaz has a bunch of bones. Right in front of him.
Lots of bones.
Lots of bones.
That's super creepy.
I
You got a
didn't
little
put them-
Jenga thing going, man.
I didn't
It's like
put
a little
the bones here. We've discovered the bones. Whoever put the bones here is creepier than I am. Like,
Okay,
I just
well-
happened to
Yeah, but you're organizing them in a really weird way.
And I will be honest, I put the bones there. However, it was because of Schmutzy. She's been just digging the hell out of all. It's like little pock marks. It's like
I'll be
little
honest,
bomb explosions.
it's a little disturbing,
Isn't it?
how frantic
Right.
Schmutzy is.
It's
about-
it's definitely more like a dog canine style digging than
Well,
Yeah.
I feel like she's kind of like prospecting for gold, but like bone gold or like murder gold.
murder gold.
Yeah,
Murder gold.
murder gold. She's kind of just got like a little kitty size
like a truffle
can in the
pig.
river and
Yeah.
just sifting through it, trying to find metatarsals and tarsals
Well-
and phalanges.
Yeah.
Like you do.
Yeah.
Like a
Murder Gold is
prospector.
Schmutzy's like album.
Murder Gold, available April 2018.
Kaz, is everything okay, man? You are
No,
looking around very anxiously right now. What's going on?
We've got, as you can see, the majority of a human skeleton
What?
here.
yeah.
Oh,
And I imagine, again, this is probably Mr. Peppershire.
I never noticed that. You're right, we do. That is freaky.
That is really weird.
It's, I wouldn't say intact. It appears
No.
to have been blown to bits, I guess is the scientific term for this. There's just stuff everywhere.
Ugh.
So this is either several people or one very messed up guy.
There's only one way of knowing that.
You got to taste it.
No.
I'm
not gonna taste
Why? No.
Just a quick. You were talking about rudimentary DNA sampling techniques. Like
I
this
mean,
is.
if
we don't
they're-
have-
No. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to put it in my mouth. I'm not going to.
Come on, Nick Spry.
Come on. No. There's no way. No.
Man
Just
Daddy's
because
not
Man
here.
Daddy's not
Taste
here to do
it.
all the heinous stuff, I'm not.
I got sriracha.
You get Roger.
Yep.
I have sea salt, pink sea salt, Himalayan sea salt.
we can whip up a sauce.
Okay. One lick. It'll be like a Tootsie Pop commercial.
Do it up, man.
Come on.
Do it up.
All right. Well, before you do this, the question that needs to
Yeah.
go through your mind is this Peppershire? Take a lick.
1, 2, 3. High school rules.
He's going in.
Oh
He's
my
going.
God. Oh my
he's
God.
going.
Why are you looking at so much?
Oh,
Stop.
I'm trying to put more salt because he obviously doesn't like the areas
I'm
with
sorry.
not a lot of salt.
My sriracha was like
Oh,
almost
yeah.
empty. Sorry. Anyone have any lemon juice?
It's like a body snatcher.
No, this is very, very, very salty. Angela, I thought you said you had sriracha.
It was empty. I'm sorry. I wouldn't have salted so much, but I didn't have any sriracha left. I'm sorry.
I wouldn't have been so heavy-handed with the salt. I'm sorry, Nick Spry.
Maybe chase it down with some gravy water here. All right. Take it easy, man. Take it easy. We got this.
I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that.
Oh,
Was it- all right. So, rudimentary DNA analysis machine, was that Mr. Peppershire?
It was peppery.
All right. I feel like that's as good as we're going to get on identification on this guy. But the sort of haphazard way in which he was... It didn't even seem like he's been buried. It was just like... I mean, a lot of this is topsoil. It seems like he was just thrown here, almost.
Right. Yeah, it's a very shallow grave.
Right. Which is, A, disrespectful, and also, B...
Sad.
Also reminding me of a similar sort of discovery of some human remains here, actually close to us in Florida.
You don't say.
Do you guys ever hear of the Hog Trail murders?
No.
No, but
Nope.
that sounds awful.
oh, get it together.
So this is actually the tale of two cases. One was resolved, and the man is currently serving his prison sentence in Florida, in Ryford, Florida.
Really?
Okay.
At the Union Correctional Institution. But what sort of sparked me onto this story was in 2007, in March.
That recent.
Yeah. 2007, in March, 8 skulls and skeletal remains were found in an area surrounding Fort Myers.
Oh,
Wow.
This is the largest such discovery of unidentified human remains in Florida's history.
What was the year again? I'm sorry.
March 23rd, 2007.
man.
So pretty recent. They initially attributed the corpses to a recently closed down funeral home, which it sparks its own weird, horrifying story by itself, right?
Like, you mean like we got all these bodies? We got all these bodies.
What am I doing?
It's
Fort Myers is like, no, he gives a shit
come on
about
down
that, right?
to Discount Rick's funeral home. We got all these bodies for sale. We got no room. I'm crazy. Half off.
And 8 people. That's a lot. That's a lot of people to be sort of just deposited somewhere in a field in Fort Myers.
It's all in the same field?
Correct. Within 1 acre of each other.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
And they also the police were able to identify that similar to what I assume is Mr. Peppershire here, that the bodies were not buried and there was no attempt to bury them. What did cover them was just leaf fall and just sort of the weathering.
Literally, like they were just thrown into a field and then the weather covered it up if it rained. That's
unceremoniously
awful.
dumped in a field somewhere, right? So obviously this is terrible.
So this to me screams homicide, and it also screams less respect than a pauper's grave.
Right.
At least with the pauper's grave, you get a little tombstone that says, 5'7".
You mean like a height?
No.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, just some kind of like
5'7",
innocuous,
about 180.
just some kind of innocuous burial ground.
This is so a gruesome discovery. It's actually discovered by a inspector who was doing some land development inspection, and he thought he saw human remains, and he contacted the police immediately. They showed up and confirmed, this is not only one person but 8 people. So pretty gruesome discovery in 2007. In 1994. A similar discovery was made in Punta Gorda, Florida. A body that had been outside for around a month was discovered severely mutilated with rope burns and the genitalia removed and discarded.
Oh my God.
What?
So this is clearly like...
Did they know if it was a man or a woman?
It was a man.
Okay.
It was a man.
So, and was the first victim a man or a woman?
First victim was a man. All victims were women.
Really?
Oh, interesting.
There's a theme. In 1996, a Northport, which is a city in the area, a Northport family's dog returned from the backyard with a human skull.
Oh! Bad dog!
Yeah, that's
Sort of
insane.
schmutzy type qualities to it. So the police were contacted. The police found the rest of the remains, in addition to missing genitalia and a corpse that had similar rope burn injuries to it. Over the next 4 years, 4 more mutilated corpses were found, all male, and all had been subjected to severe torture. Some were raped, and this was essentially a homegrown serial killing. This was the man was targeting homosexual couples or people that he thought to be homosexual men, and was
so today's definition of a hate crime.
Exactly.
Wow.
Exactly.
Awful.
To an extreme degree.
12 or 13 bodies, all homosexual men.
The initial 4 bodies were actually charged to the killer, a man named Daniel Conahan. Daniel Conahan, the way they actually found out was one of the victims escaped. He attempted to abduct a man near Fort Myers, Florida, and the man was found with injuries that were similar to the killings, and he was able to correctly identify Daniel Conahan.
Really?
The police were able to subpoena credit card receipts and things like that, and basically track him down and pin him to these 4 murders.
Oh, wow.
That's actually like similar to one of the earlier Dahmer cases where one of his homosexual lovers escaped, went to the cops pretty much on the street corner and was like, this guy's trying to kill me. When the cops walked the dude back to the apartment.
Right.
And when Jeffrey Dahmer opened up the door, he was like, oh, how'd you get out? Like with a wink. And was like, we're just doing this like sex game. Well, he had his skull fractured. and a part of his skull was missing.
Well,
Oh
yeah,
my
well,
And, really ridiculous
Dahmer
shit.
was known for he would drill into people's heads and pour in acid and try and make these like lover zombies.
Yep.
That was it's
Oh,
absolutely
so
horrible. But that's
disturbing.
ugh.
So again, through the diligent police work of the Florida Police Department, I did that very man-daddy-ish.
Yeah, it was
Did you
great.
say that? That was
Yeah.
weird.
I like it.
I don't like it. I feel
It's
like
comforting.
it's seeping
no.
into me.
Come on, we need some sort of man daddy presence.
Prior to the man actually being charged, the media got a hold of the story and dubbed the killings the Hog Trail killings, which is, I guess, the term for that area of Florida.
Okay, gotcha. I was like, that's a very weird and random murder, but if it makes sense geographically, I guess that's fine.
What's actually interesting is the man who escaped and got away brought the police back to a place within 1 mile of the 8 other bodies that were found in
In
2007.
that acre lot.
No.
Oh my God.
David Conahan was never officially charged with those 8 murders.
What?
But there is heavy speculation that he's involved. The injuries are very similar. Basically, the public consensus is that this is he is also responsible for these murders, but he hasn't officially been charged yet. He's currently serving out his sentence to life in, like I said, Ryford, Florida.
For those other 4
for
murders,
the original
right?
murders in the 90s. Yeah.
Whoa.
And did he actually confess to those, or he said that he was not guilty and they were still found guilty?
Yeah, I think he stuck to his "I'm not guilty" story the whole time, but they got him.
Was this like some kind of crime of passion?
I mean, obviously there was some type of repressed feelings. This guy targeted homosexual men, and then the man who got away was actually propositioned by him and in an attempt to lure him to the I guess the killing area. This is just clearly someone who is beyond insane and acted out in a way that was
he posing as a friend of the night?
I don't think so. No,
You son of a bitch.
looking at this guy, there's no way
How
he got
dare
away
you
with
say that to me?
Yeah, this guy
If
looks
you
like someone's
ever-
creepy uncle. Definitely not getting like any gigolo
Okay.
action on the side. No, he was also an LPN, a licensed practice nurse.
Really?
Oh, really?
Oh.
So he knew what he was doing. I'm saying in regards to, like, you're saying these people were tortured.
Correct. Right. Yeah, and there was like pretty specific like mutilation
Right.
techniques that
human
were.
anatomy,
Right.
specific things.
Yeah.
Although I mean, I've met LPNs. I don't know that they can necessarily perform any like surgery or whatever. They're like pretty.
No, but you have a
But you know
better
enough of
knowledge of
For
physiology.
sure.
Yes, correct.
For sure.
Disagree.
So yeah, he was linked to at this point over a dozen murders in the South Florida, Central Florida region.
Whoa.
Gosh,
Really
That is,
disturbing.
that was too recent. That's too recent.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Yep.
Can I just say something about this right now?
No, first take the
What?
clown nose off.
Yeah, it's
Really
definitely
disturbing.
Off-putting.
Seriously?
Again.
Doesn't that smell awful?
gonna add it to the pile
does.
of bones. Honestly, we'll call it the pile of evidence. at this
Let
point.
me
Actually, you know
let me get that off your nose, and I'm just going to put it here on the skull that.
Okay, but
Schmutzy
wait,
found.
Give it to
Right on there.
Schmutzy. Give it to
Before
Schmutzy.
you,
It kinda
before you
is-
do it, listen. Let's just hear me out. Okay, I thought that this was beguiling.
Disarming.
All right, take it off.
Yeah.
Ow!
There. It's hold on. Come on. It's really stuck tight on there. Come on.
That is gross.
That's the last time you put a boot on my chest. All right, Nick Spry.
For now.
Damn it.
And now I'm just going to put it cutely here on this skull, so it's a lot cheerier.
Okay, listen. Okay, this is all I'm going to say about this, all right? We came out here because of a stupid idea that there was a lake house, and then we actually found a floating bottle in the water that had a memo from Felix.
Yeah, a little message.
That was
in
the
a
first
bottle.
thing.
Yeah.
Correct.
How creepy was that?
Weird.
I
It's weird.
I liked that we got to almost kind of communicate with Felix. Like I feel like this is our first real interaction with him. We've been in his house, experiencing all this weird stuff, and
That
now
was pretty cool.
We got his voice.
I have thousands of meandering voicemails like that. So, yeah.
Right, exactly. Right, and they mean nothing.
Nothing.
But
Nothing.
in this instance, it was really obvious to me that Angela, you started off with the Lady Lovibond. What is it?
Lovibond.
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 And basically, Simon Peel or Simon Reed, who was working on the ship, who was the captain, correct?
He's captain. Correct.
Was in love with this Annetta.
He
This
married her.
One Annetta, who married Annetta, right? And then this man, John Rivers,
Correct.
who had an unrequited love with Annetta, decided that he would use all of the power in his being to take down any soul within his power
He was a
in
little
order
angry.
for him to be in love with Annetta forever.
Yes.
Super selfish.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
Well-
yeah. If I can't have you, nobody will. Like,
Dick
I'm going to
move.
ground this boat down.
Dick move.
I don't want nobody, baby. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that you won't.
Here's another baby.
So then we have this Marlene Warren, who was killed Memorial Day weekend in 1990 because of this clown that knocked on her front door.
Yeah.
And gave her a bouquet of flowers and a note that said, "You're the greatest."
It was printed on one of the balloons, right?
And then, just like that, she's shot and killed.
yeah, she was
And
shot.
her son is the one who has to say, basically, it was a brunette clown that matches the description of a mistress of the husband.
Correct.
But then you go right in from that unrequited love story into the Hog Trail killings, where 8 skeletal remains are found in 2007. They're almost removed of any sexual orientation. All of their genitalia are removed. And it goes back to the repressed feelings of the killer. So all of these stories kind of go back on repressed feelings.
Yeah.
So if we have anyone to blame right now, it would be Felix and or Peppershire, which just kind of opens up a new chapter in Fort Fritz. What exactly was Felix Fritz telling us about Peppershire?
What is this experiment that they're talking about?
And did Peppershire lose his life because of some kind of secret experiment?
I think it's clear.
It's obviously clear.
Obviously clear as in...
It's crystal clear. Super duper clear.
All right, well, I mean, that'll sell me.
Keep your nose to the ear stone. So yeah, it's clear that Peppershire died unnaturally. And this memo points to some type of experimentation, some accident that killed Peppershire.
Into jigsaw puzzle of skeleton.
This dude got blown up.
Yeah.
I don't want to say blown up or just somehow just obliterated. Like, this is just gruesome, right? So, what could have had that power? Like, what were they doing? Where's the thimble? Where's the lab?
Here, I got an
Exactly.
idea. I'm just gonna.
You've been to the lab.
I'm just gonna.
Is it
take
the
that,
same lab?
Yeah, I'm gonna take down that same bottle. I'm gonna write down a little message here. I got a little scrap of parchment. I'm gonna say, so need more info. Send money, Fritz. And I'm gonna put this in the bottle. I'm throwing it in the lake.
Don't do it.
I'm doing it. I'm throwing it in the lake.
All right, do it. Just get rid of it.
Make sure you clear that alligator, chomped in half alligator carcass.
And he just made it.
Yep.
Well, okay, so now this is our message in a bottle, if you will. If anyone out there has any idea what we are going to do when we get this message back, please call in 570-478-3789. That's 570-4RT-FRTZ. You can also find us on Facebook at Fort Fritz, on Twitter at Fort Fritz MCT. Our email is
FortFritz@yahoo.com.
And Nick Spry, don't we have an Instagram account?
We have a brand new Instagram account. It's very young, so nurture it well. It is just search at Fort Fritz on Instagram. But we'd love your photos. If you have any sort of spooky or paranormal experiences or just things you want to send us, little knickknacks, trademark, just send it to our Fort Fritz account at yahoo.com.
Or just pictures of your puppies or whatever you got, whatever you got.
We would love to see anything that you have.
Just leave me alone. You're listening to Fort Fritz.